and welcome to Love on the Pod, a podcast about all the cheesy, romantic TV movies we adore. I'm Danny.
I'm Sherry.
And I'm Jessica.
This week, we are leaning into the Thanksgiving season and throwing it back to 2012 to the Hallmark Thanksgiving classic, Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. This movie is about Emily, who is in charge of Chicago's magical Thanksgiving Day Parade and absolutely loves her job. With only a couple of weeks until this year's parade, the mayor brings in a development consultant to evaluate the revenue possibilities of the parade, potentially ruining the magic and the joy of the whole affair.
This movie came out in 2012, and it stars Autumn Reeser, who plays Emily Jones. We know and love Autumn from the Wedding Veil series. She starred in Junebug, which we reviewed a couple of weeks ago. She's also in a Christmas favorite of mine, A Glenbrook Christmas. Starring opposite her is Antonio Cupo, who I also adore. He plays Henry Williams. He actually had a small cameo in Junebug. I don't know if you guys noticed it. I didn't until I realized it looking into this movie. But he played a waiter in Junebug. So he had a little cameo in there. And then he also is in A Glenbrook Christmas. He plays opposite Autumn Reeser in that one as well. So we've seen them together before, and I really enjoy seeing the two of them together. Have you guys seen A Glenbrook Christmas?
I don't think I have.
Oh, it's
I don't think I have either.
It's so good. You should definitely watch it. It just came on after I watched Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, because, on Hallmark Plus, when you're finished watching a movie, it'll just start another movie starring the same main actor. Mm-hmm. And so it just started playing afterward. And I was like, oh, I love this movie. I'm just going to keep sitting here and watch it. So good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the synopsis. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's excellent. You should definitely watch it. It's very, very cute.
Autumn Reeser has not changed at all since this film. It came out in 2012,
and
she looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful.
So beautiful. Yes. It could have been that Junebug came out the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I want to know her skincare regimen.
Yes, me too. Maybe it's the same as Candace Cameron. What is that? Dr. Lancer?
Dr. Lancer.
Yeah. I've always wanted to try that, but you guys,
it's so expensive. Yeah,
I know. I put it in my QVC cart a couple of times, and then I just failed to hit.
It's one of those things that you're like, oh, okay, I'll make the investment, I'll try it. But then you have to keep making the investment to continue using it. And it's, every once in a while they do that big
special
sale.
Value.
Yeah, but it's not all year long that they do that. So
Right. That's my train of thought too. I'm like, if I buy this on sale and I really like it, then next time I'm going to have to buy it not on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I'm too cheap for this.
Instagram keeps hitting me with an ad for beef tallow.
Oh, yes.
It's supposed to be the newest, greatest. It's all you need. You don't need special eye cream, special lip cream, special neck cream. It's all. So I don't know. I might have to try that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I haven't used it as my skincare regimen yet, but I have a friend that makes it. And so we do beef tallow soap. We do beef tallow sunscreen and beef tallow balm. It's like a really, really thick body butter that I put on my hands and my feet every night, especially in the winter when it's getting cold and your skin's getting really dry. It's amazing. It works better than anything I've ever used. It's fantastic.
I should get some of that balm because my hands get so dry from having to wash my hands like 30 times a day while I'm working at the coffee shop. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great stuff. I have seen where the skincare is almost like a extract. It's like a dropper. And I don't know. I've never used it before, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just what I've seen. And I've heard the same thing, that that's all you need for your skin, that you don't need, a 5-step program, that you just put that on and that's it. So I would like to try that sometime. I need to find somebody that makes it that's reputable, that where it's coming from. This a friend of mine that I buy it from, like, she has her own cows and she gets it from them. Like whenever they slaughter a cow, she has a whole bunch of tallow and she renders it down and she makes chapstick. She makes all the things. So
that's cool.
And that way you know exactly where it's coming from.
Exactly where it's coming from. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of beef, have you guys seen beef netting?
No.
Beef netting. No.
Okay, so I don't know what they actually use it for in practical use, but people have been using it to make spider webs for Halloween. And
I was like, why do people need to make spider webs? That's really weird.
No, it's like a decoration. It looks like this.
Oh,
that's beef?
I don't know. It's called beef netting. I don't know why, but it
looks
comes
more like cheese netting.
Yeah, it comes
Swiss cheese
without holes in it. If you buy like regular beef netting from like Tractor Supply or whatever, it doesn't have holes in it. And then people were just taking like, those rotary cutters and just making holes in them. And then you have these cool giant spider webs and you can reuse them. And they're not going to kill birds like those other ones do. So
interesting.
I didn't buy any, but it looked cool.
So if a bird gets in there, he's able to get back out again, or it just
I think
breaks
so,
down
because the
easily?
holes are big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because with that like sticky stuff, they just get all wound up in there and then they can't get out and then they just die. Sadly.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I saw some go up downtown and I wanted to just rip it back down after I read that last year about don't use that stuff.
It's not good.
Oh, it's kind of gross.
What's kind of gross?
Beef netting.
Oh God, what do they use it for?
It's a versatile tool used in the processing and preparation of various meat products. It's a flexible, elastic netting that is used to hold the shape of a cooked or cured meat product, such as a roast or a ham.
Oh, so like wrap it in it?
Oh, so it's not made out of beef.
No.
Okay, never mind. It's not gross.
So they just wrap it in there to keep its shape?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of like sausage casing.
That's what I was thinking
too. That's going to attract so many gross animals.
Hang intestines from the front of your house.
I mean, it's Halloween.
Spooky.
Oh my
all
gosh.
the raccoons and the possums in the neighborhood to be in your front yard.
Gross. Oh my gosh. And the flies.
Oh.
No thanks.
All right. Anyway.
What were we talking about now?
Random
Thanksgiving Day movie.
And Halloween is over at this point, but...
Oh, true. Yeah.
Thanksgiving is next week.
Yes, it sure is.
Which I couldn't be happier about. I love Thanksgiving. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving.
Me too.
I don't really care about Halloween, if I'm being honest. I know that's not the popular opinion, but I don't. I would just skip right to Thanksgiving if it were up to me. I love Thanksgiving. Plus, I have no self-control. So, like, when my kids bring home that much candy, man, it is a bad day for me.
I've gotten so picky about candy. I'm not into most, like 99% of what they get. No. Sour Patch Kids, cool. I'll eat
all
those.
day.
Yeah.
But even like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, no. I like the Justin's ones.
Yeah, I do too. Those are way better.
Yeah,
we don't even give out candy anymore. We're that house that doesn't give out candy, but we give out Pokemon cards and baseball cards. And what was the other one? I think they got basketball cards this year.
That's
so they
cool.
just are like little packs of trading cards.
It's not like toothbrushes.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a toothbrush.
The dentist used to give out toothbrushes. But not at the dentist office. From his house, he'd give out toothbrushes. So he's like, we'll skip this house.
Thank you. And they weren't even like good toothbrushes. They were the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't okay.
I'll use this on my dog. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, one other character in this movie that I wanted to mention, not necessarily as a starring role, but one of my favorite roles in this movie is Emily's best friend, Jacqueline. She is played by Allie Liebert. She also plays the best friend in Autumn in the Vineyard. And
she's a great
I just love her. Isn't she? She's so cute. She's so like funny and engaging, and she plays the best friend really well. And I would love to see her as the main role. I don't think I've ever seen her play the main role before.
There are a couple because I looked her up. She's done a couple of Hallmark, I think Christmas movies where she's the lead. I didn't write them down, but yeah, older ones, but check it out.
Okay, I'm going to have to check it out because I really, really like her. This movie was directed by Ron Oliver, and the writers were Nancy Silvers and Bill Froelich. It is currently available on Hallmark Plus, so if you have not seen it, go and check it out. So I'd love to know what your initial thoughts were on this movie. Had you seen it before? Because this is kind of a throwback.
I have seen it several times before. I love it. I love the concept of a Thanksgiving movie versus Christmas because it seems like they go from vineyard movies right into Christmas, and there's not really any in between. And, you know, you see a lot of TV shows that have a Thanksgiving episode, Friends being one of my very favorite ones, especially the one, well, all of them really. So say the one where they're playing football and they get locked out, but all of them. So why not do some Thanksgiving movies? I really enjoyed the concept, and I love a good parade anyway. So I thought it was really cute.
I had not seen this movie before, and I did not like it.
Oh, really? Really? Oh, this is going to be interesting to talk about, you guys.
I have a lot to say about this film, and
okay.
Most of it is not good.
It's so funny because when we don't agree, I'm like, what's not to like
what
about it?
How can you speak that way about my friend? That's so funny. I totally assumed that we were all going to love this one because I had never seen it before, but I really, because it's so close to Thanksgiving, I really wanted to do a Thanksgiving themed movie. And like you were saying, Mom, there are not a lot of options. We had to go all the way back to 2012 for this. Mm-hmm. And there were only 2 that I found that actually were Thanksgiving movies. And like you said, you know, it's vineyard movies or pumpkin patch movies or, you know, the pumpkin pie wars, but nothing that really ever acknowledges Thanksgiving. And the same thing with Halloween. We found it difficult to find a lot of Halloween movies when we were discussing those. So yeah, it does. It goes from like these summer romance, travel the world kind of movies to now we're on a farm and now it's Christmas, but they don't really do a lot of Thanksgiving and or Halloween. I would love to see Hallmark do more of both. I would assume Great American Family probably won't do a lot of Halloween themed movies, but I would love to see them incorporate some Thanksgiving. So
I think by the time we get to Thanksgiving, they're already in countdown to Christmas. So that's probably a big reason why they don't do it. Because what is the first Christmas movie comes out like very soon, like in the next week or 2?
Yeah.
I want to say it's early November.
It's
the one that I'm covering next week, I believe, is a brand new one, and it comes out October. Well, by the time it airs, it will have but it's an October release.
Okay.
So maybe like cut out 2 of your 4 million Christmas movies and do a couple Thanksgiving ones. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think the closest one we've seen is Destined at Christmas because that was a Black Friday movie.
True. Yes.
They didn't talk about Thanksgiving in that movie.
I have not seen the sequel. Have you guys seen the sequel yet? I haven't either, but I really would like to. Even though we ripped that movie apart, I still would like to see the sequel.
I would too. Yeah.
I mean, we need to know how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe the follow-up is better. Maybe they explain all the plot holes.
Maybe. I don't think they do, not. But you know, maybe.
All right. So should we dig into this movie?
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about it? I'm a little nervous. Jessica, to hear your thoughts on this movie that I loved so much. I'm worried for our relationship.
Oh, gosh.
All right. So we open in a super cute, charming 60s inspired home. And initially, this had me thinking that it was going to be like a period piece. Like we're going to be back in the 60s with all the fashion and how her apartment was decorated until I started seeing some modern day technology. And I was like, okay, so this is either like a really weird like dystopian future, or she just is really into vintage. So once I realized that Emily is just really into thrifting and all things vintage, I was like, okay, now I know where we're going. But initially I did think, I was like, oh, is this going to take place in the past? Is this? No, it wasn't. I kind of wish it did, but it was a very cute opening. In one of the very first scenes, Emily is on a video call with her boyfriend, who we find out is a marine biologist who has been away for many, many months. And she's very excited because he is coming home November 14th and he has a question for her. Now, in this video chat, there are a number of red flags immediately about this relationship between the two of them. He's asking her if she's read his book, and she's got this big coffee table book about whales on her bed. And she's saying, oh, yeah, it's great. And he's like, oh, yeah, mother loves it too. And as soon as he said, mother loves it too, I was
He's
like,
a mama's boy.
Oh, no. This guy.
It's another self-absorbed boyfriend who is all about himself. He doesn't really ask her how she is or how the parade is going or her career or anything. It's just stroke my ego, tell me how great I am, and then, we'll go have dinner with mommy. It's yeah.
Mother
you can see where it's
too.
going with this guy, Brian.
Yes. So after this video chat, she's gotten ready for work. She stops by this really awesome thrift shop that is owned by her best friend, Jacqueline. And, we've just seen this conversation between her and her boyfriend, who has said that he has a question for her when he comes on November 14th. And she's all excited. And you think you know what this question is, right? If this longtime boyfriend says he has a question for you, but he's not going to tell you what it is until he gets there, she thinks she's getting proposed to, right? So she's stopping by the thrift shop and her best friend gifts her this gorgeous vintage wedding dress because she just knows that she is going to get proposed to. I did think this was a really cute scene, especially because she loved the dress. But I had to think, for me personally, if someone just gave me a wedding dress, I'd be like, kind of want to pick out my own.
I know. I was trying to figure out, had she seen that style before? And so her friend really knew what she would look for. But still, you want to shop for yourself. It was very sweet. And it was a beautiful dress. But you want to shop for yourself.
Yeah. Even if you end up with that dress, you want to go and have the experience, right? Of trying on all the dresses and drinking the champagne and having your friends tell you that's terrible or that's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely. And later in the movie, they attempt to explain why she is so passionate about dressing and vintage clothing. But I just felt like it was a little too on the nose. Like all the jackets and all the hats. And I'm just like, does anybody really dress like that? I just felt like it was a lot. There was no modern pieces at all. And not that it was ugly or anything. It was cute.
Loved it.
But I loved it. I don't know anybody who dresses like
I follow people. I follow people on Instagram that are very.
I guess that's true.
Not even vintage inspired. They are all about it. Their home, their clothing, the way that they cook and all those things. So
yeah, I just felt like could have been a little more subtle. I felt like it was very like, oh, look at my pillbox hat. Like.
And they're all in amazing shape.
Oh,
yes, they are.
She has a lot of money to spend on vintage clothes, apparently.
Or her friend just gives her a really good discount. But her friend dresses in vintage too.
Yes.
And I think they just always look adorable. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. Okay, so after this visit to the thrift shop, which I was like, who stops at a thrift shop on their way to work? But whatever, it's fine.
In Hallmark movies, they're always stopping to do all kinds of errands before work.
Don't you start at like 8 a.m.? What thrift shop is open already?
Yeah, and who wants to add another hour to their day?
And let me just carry around this wedding dress with me all day.
All day long. Nevertheless, she does head to work and she is attending a meeting about the Chicago Thanksgiving parade, we find out that she is an absolute expert in all things parade. And she is basically in charge of planning and the execution of the entire thing, which she absolutely loves. She loves her job, which was really fun to see a movie where the main character loves their job, because I think so often in these films, the main character hates their job or their boss is a jerk or whatever, but she loves her job and she's very good at it. However, during this meeting, she finds out that the mayor of Chicago is bringing someone in to evaluate the revenue potential of the parade, and she is not happy about it. Now, I will say my initial reaction to this was she's being a little dramatic. Like they're just bringing someone in to see if it's possible to make any money off the parade, and she's throwing a big fit about it.
Yeah, I was like, Emily is immediately unlikable in this scene. You're just like, what is going on with you? Like, she's very aggressive all of a sudden, like just yelling about it. It's like, okay, let's just calm it down a few notches.
Well, and everything's about making money, so she should know that this is a possibility.
Right. If she wants to continue to get paid for her job, they probably should make some money.
Yes.
Or absolutely. No more vintage for you.
No.
So she meets Henry. He is the financial expert that's coming in to evaluate the parade. And she's even more mad because once she meets him and talks with him, she finds out that he used to watch the parade from a penthouse as a child. And she's really mad because she's like, you know what? You don't understand the parade. You don't understand the importance of the parade because you never watched it down on the streets with the real people of Chicago.
Because rich people, or she thinks that he was rich, do not understand anything ever. They're stupid.
Right.
They don't get it.
Yes.
And here's assumption number one that, causes a problem in the movie.
Yeah.
If I had the choice between standing shoulder to shoulder with 500,000 people on the street or watching from a penthouse apartment, what do you think I'm going to choose?
I'm going to be warm and cozy in the penthouse with a cup of hot chocolate.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because they made Chicago look a lot warmer than it is in the winter. I have a feeling they filmed this in the springtime because it is not warm there in the winter. It is freezing. Your face feels like it's going to freeze off. Yeah, it's not like, and it's cold.
Yeah. No, she didn't have a pink, rosy nose from the cold at all when they were outside.
No.
So she's really mad about this whole thing, clearly. And she decides to call her fiance up because, I understand it. When I'm mad about something, I want to talk to my husband, but I don't think that her fiance in this case is very helpful in really any scenario. However, she does call him and she tells him about Henry. And he actually gives her some good advice. And so this is kind of a point where I was like, well, maybe he's not as bad as I'm thinking, because he was pretty nice and he was supportive. And he was like, you get more bees with honey. So be nice to him and get to know him. And,
But he said you get more bees with honey than with lemon. Isn't the saying honey and vinegar?
Yes. Is it?
It is.
Oh, well, another point to prove that he's an idiot.
He's been on the boat too long, selling fish guts.
You're out of vinegar, or he's done with vinegar. He's had too much fish and chips.
Too much vinegar on the boat.
But she does take his advice and decides to be nice and try to show him what the parade means to her, because she's worried that he's going to come in and try to find all the financial possibilities and it's going to end up ruining the parade. And so she gets a carriage and takes him down Main Street, narrating the parade the entire time to create an experience. And I loved this scene. I thought it was so fun. She's super quirky in her 60s attire, and she's narrating the parade as if she is the parade announcer that you're watching on TV on Thanksgiving Day. And I just thought the scene was really cute. I really liked it.
I did too. Her vivid storytelling, and she would point and say, "Now look up," and he's like, "There's nothing to look at." She was really seeing that parade in her mind's eye. It was really cute.
Yeah, I
Jessica
thought
probably hated it. No,
I did like this scene, but I was distracted by how sunny it was outside.
Yeah.
Okay. We're
Suspend
still
your
Los
disbelief,
Angeles
Jessica.
parade.
Yeah, suspend your disbelief about the weather in Chicago. It's fine.
Just like Ainsley McGregor wearing her heavy wool pea coat in Texas.
Over a sweater dress.
Yeah, I mean, when they film everything in Vancouver, they just become numb to the world.
Yeah. We just got to roll with it.
Oh, gosh.
So during this carriage ride, Henry has pretty much nothing to say except for questions about money, revenue possibilities. He even suggests charging admission to recoup the costs for the cleanup crew and other fees. And
how would you do that?
This just did make me very mad because, first of all, he's supposed to be a revenue expert. I'm like, how in the heck are you going to charge admission to a parade?
Yeah.
Like, people come from every street. That's impossible. You could probably put out like donation buckets or something, like have parade officials walking up and down with donation buckets if people want to donate. I don't know how safe
like
that is.
how the firefighters carry their boot around.
Yeah, and you can just donate.
Yeah, because it would probably cost more money to collect admission. Because you'd have
to man stations.
Yeah, and you'd have to barricade everything off, and there would be lines forever.
Starting at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
so much for our
if you had a collection bin, I'm sure people would be throwing their gum wrappers in.
Yeah, probably
garbage.
So I don't want that job. No, thank you.
No.
So Henry and Emily at this point get into a fight about family and marriage. Somehow from admission, it leads to that. And she bets him $5 that she will be engaged by Thanksgiving because, Brian is coming November 14th and he has a question for her. And Henry just kind of scoffs at her and says, if he hasn't married you in 5 years, he's not going to. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that's true? If a man hasn't proposed in 5 years, you think he's not going to do it?
No, I think it depends on your situation. Like I, had friends in high school who started dating when they were 15. So they were dating for like 8 years before they finally got married. And we all knew that they were going to get married at some point, but they waited until they were a little bit older.
Right.
And yeah. But I think if you're in your 30s,
you're an adult
and you're dating for 5 years.
It's been going on for 5 years.
And you haven't even had the conversation. It kind of sounds like they have not talked about it. It's just she's
weird.
Assuming. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that my husband and I had the marriage discussion, not necessarily like that we wanted to marry each other, but talking about marriage and like what we wanted.
What do you see for your future?
Exactly. Within like the first couple months of dating, yes, I want to be married. What your feelings about marriage are. You typically talk about that in a relationship. But as you said, Jessica, it seems like they have not discussed it at all.
No.
Either that or they've discussed it and both of them walked away thinking it went completely differently than
they're hearing what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the conflict between these two during this carriage ride was not earned. I felt like it was over the top. They blew up in this big argument. She's betting him about her personal life. She barely knows this guy. It's just, and why does she care what he thinks? And why is he telling her his opinion? He also doesn't know her. Like, it's very weird to me.
Yeah. They're supposed to have this. They're supposed to have this business relationship. Yet I feel like for her, she's feeling like maybe this isn't going to go the way that she wants it to go. So she's going to be really adamant about, I'll bet you $5 whole that I actually will get engaged because she wants it so badly.
Yeah. Right. She's trying to convince herself that she's sure that this is what's going to happen by convincing other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too that the Thanksgiving Day parade is very personal for her. And so when this guy comes in and he's been hired to, look at these revenue possibilities and she's concerned about the parade and what's going to happen, she takes it personally. And so it is more of a personal thing between the two of them. Like, you're coming in to ruin my parade. And so maybe that's why it's so easy for them to get fired up.
It's like
he's like, I'm not a bad guy. And she's like, yes, you are.
It's like when Professor McGonagall says, Hogwarts has been threatened.
Yeah.
It's the same with the parade.
Oh,
the parade has been threatened. Oh, gosh.
Okay, I want to talk about one of my very favorite scenes that happens shortly after the carriage ride in this movie. And this is the grocery store scene. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. It's so funny. She's at the grocery store. She's buying tons of cat food because there's these stray cats that she feeds. And that just kind of feeds into her whole crazy cat lady fear that she's going to end up alone with all these cats. But she keeps feeding these stray cats. So she has tons of cans of cat food in her cart. And she's strolling down the ice cream aisle and she opens up the freezer and gets the giant tub of ice cream and puts it in her cart. And then she puts it back. And then she gets it out again. And then she puts it back. And she probably does this like 5 times.
And it's like the big one, like the 2-gallon jug.
Oh, yeah.
The one you get for kids' birthday parties.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Henry just happens to be in the grocery store at the same time. And he sees her. And she doesn't know it. And he's watching her do this and just smirking. And it was so cute and so funny. I loved this scene. Then they go to the checkout and she doesn't have the ice cream. And she sees him and she's like trying to hide all the cat food because of their bet. She doesn't want him to think she's a crazy cat lady. And what is he buying? But the giant tub of ice cream that she wanted. Oh, it's so funny. I love that scene.
It was very cute. And then after he leaves,
you chuckle.
Yes.
Oh, that was half-hearted.
What's your problem with ice cream?
Sorry. First of all, everybody knows the ice cream in those giant tubs is disgusting.
It's not good ice cream. No, it'll get freezer burn.
That's true.
Who wants to buy that for themselves?
It's what you bring to school parties. It's the cheap of the cheap.
You know what kind of ice cream I saw the other day? And I did the same kind of like, will she, won't she situation, and I didn't buy it. But it was Mauna Loa ice cream. It was Kona coffee ice cream with chocolate covered macadamia nuts in it.
So the ice cream scene you weren't a big fan of?
It was fine. It was fine. The putting it back and taking it again, it just happened a little too often for me. 3 times would have gotten the message across. Would have been fine.
That is what made me laugh because it was so many times.
Would it be different if it was wine? Maybe.
I don't know. Because here's the thing. If I want ice cream, I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to put it in my cart and I'm going to buy it. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about my ice cream. But I also have a husband at home who will be happy if I bring home ice cream. So
true. But I think she's still thinking, I've got all this cat food. I want to buy this 2-gallon bucket of ice cream.
What does that
I
say
am
about
becoming
me?
that woman.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the raspberry swirl floats all over again.
Oh, yeah.
From Junebug.
Yep.
Autumn Reeser and her ice cream, I tell you. So as you were starting to mention, Mom, when Henry checks out, he's got that tub of ice cream and then he leaves. And then she's like, hang on 1 second. She runs back. She doesn't just get 1 tub of the ice cream. She gets, was it 3?
3. Yeah.
3 giant tubs of ice cream. And then
those
all the
vintage refrigerators don't have big freezers. So I don't know where she's going to put that.
She's going to eat it all tonight.
Maybe.
Oh, so funny. Next, we find out that, I want to say Autumn, that Emily has a major fear of boats. This becomes apparent when she is attempting to get on the water taxi and she fails miserably. She gets 1 foot on and you can tell the captain is really irritated with her. So we get the impression that she has done this many times before. And I couldn't help but thinking she's afraid of boats and yet she's dating a marine biologist. That was yet another red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And that he, as we find out later, doesn't really seem to know that she's afraid of boats.
Right. How could you not know that?
Yeah.
After 5 years.
Yeah.
dating a marine biologist? Have you never brought her on a
invited her on a
boat?
boat? Yeah.
In 5
Did they ever
years?
really dig into that? Why she has a fear of boats? Did she have some sort of trauma?
I don't think
I didn't
so. I don't think
notice
they
anything
ever
about that.
talked about it.
I feel like she mentioned something, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It was like a small thing that I've just never really liked them, or it was just something
Yeah.
like a flippant little comment like that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't like a traumatic story from her childhood or something like that.
Mm-mm.
There was another thing that I thought was really funny when she goes to a board meeting shortly after this. Maybe she stopped at the water taxi on her way to work this time instead of the thrift store. But she heads to a board meeting and Henry's not there yet. And this scene, I think, was purely to be a Cheesecake Factory ad because she comes in with cheesecake, a full cheesecake to go from the Cheesecake Factory, and she opens it up and she's offering it to everyone at the board meeting. And then Henry walks in and she closes it and she's like, okay, thank you for attending the meeting. Meeting's over.
Meeting's over.
I'm like, 9 a.m. cheesecake.
It was such a unnecessary scene. I really think it was just made to advertise for the Cheesecake Factory.
This movie is sponsored by Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. But after a cheesecake breakfast, Henry is looking for somewhere good to eat, and Emily offers to take him to a 6-star restaurant with the best food in town. And they roll up, and it turns out it's a pizza place where they have the Buddha, which is the pizza that is one with everything, which I thought was really cute.
I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
That was cute.
Although,
really cute.
did you see the sign for the restaurant? They serve steaks, seafood, Italian cuisine, barbecue chicken, and barbecue ribs. That's
wow, Jim.
They're not pizza.
Yeah.
So it's Jim's Pizza, but the guy that helps them, that she seems to know really well. Oh gosh, maybe I didn't write his name down. It's not Jim, it's somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's like the manager or something, or maybe he just took over Jim's Pizza. I don't know. But we do find out that Emily has her Thanksgiving dinner at Jim's Pizza every year. We find out that her mom died when she was a baby, and her dad, who was a cop, raised her, and he died when she was 17. So she's lost both of her parents. And she shares this with Henry, who in return shares with her some information about his past and that he has no home, which I thought was very weird. She's asking him about his home, like, where does he live? And he just was like, I travel a lot for work. I mostly just live in hotels. Like, he literally has no home base. Mm-hmm. He just travels from hotel to hotel. And when he's not working, he goes on vacation. And I just was like, how much money does this guy have, first of all? Yeah. And second of all, like, is that a thing? Do people do that?
It's a thing in Hallmark movies. Definitely. I know Andrew Walker has played more than one character where he's like, oh, I'm just on the road all the time.
He's a nomad.
Yeah, I spend Christmas in the airport, and I don't have a house.
What in the world? Like, where do you put your stuff?
Where do you do your laundry? I mean, I guess they're rich, so they send it out to be cleaned. But
true.
Like, is Henry's only possession that tiny little chessboard that he brings with him to every hotel he goes to? I don't understand.
Did they ever explain that either? It's this certain chessboard. He takes it out and he puts one piece on the board every time he checks into a hotel, and then he plays.
He plays chess with himself.
He plays chess with himself.
And he actually gets up and sits in the other chair and plays, and then moves to the other chair and plays. Oh my gosh, that was comical. That was hilarious. I was like, what is happening right now?
They're just trying to explain his sad life.
Yeah, I think it's trying to highlight that he is lonely and he has no partner to share his life with. But the jumping from chair to chair playing chess, I was like,
I'm really going to get you on this move.
What are you doing? Okay, so then they are going back and forth about love, and she really truly believes in true love. He doesn't believe in love that lasts forever, and he has a 5-date rule. If after the first 5 dates he doesn't see a future with this person, he breaks up with them, which I really thought was very logical. If you are dating someone
Yeah.
5 dates and you don't think it's going anywhere, you probably should break up.
Yeah.
I was pissed off about that.
Yeah.
No, I would say, in 2 dates, if this is not for you, why continue? Why prolong it?
But she clearly doesn't have a 5-date rule because she's on
got
year
a
5 with the marine biology.
That's going nowhere.
Yeah.
The woman that's afraid of both.
She did the same thing in Junebug. Just dated somebody where the relationship was going nowhere.
That's true. She did.
Gets comfortable.
Yeah.
Is this the same girl?
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe Emily needed her younger self to come and help her out here.
Probably.
So Emily and Henry, they're spending a lot of time together. They're previewing every act for the parade. And at some point while they're checking out the different events or acts for the parade, Emily shares with Henry that the reason she wears old clothes is because when her mom died, her dad was so sad that he donated all of her clothes and shoes. And she figures if she wears enough of them, she might someday end up wearing her mom's, which I thought was really, really sweet. I really liked that. I thought it was a very sweet explanation and helped me to understand her character a little bit more.
And I did too. And I can tell by Jessica's face that she thought like, this is the cheesiest ever.
No, here's the thing. Autumn Reeser is 44. She was born in 1980, okay? If her mom died when she was a baby, she would not have a collection of pillbox hats and tweed suits. Like, she would not.
Maybe grandma.
Yeah.
Maybe it's meant to be years before. They didn't say what year it is. Jessica,
yes, because every 5-year-old collects tweed suits in the hopes that her adult daughter will wear them someday.
You never know.
You are ruining this for me.
Oh, Jessica.
Okay, if she wanted this to be realistic, she should have been wearing bell bottoms and I don't know.
Well, you're not wrong there. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe her mom was really old.
Maybe that's why she died, because she was really old.
She had her, I don't know.
She was a cat lady, and then she finally had a baby.
She married the policeman who helped her get the cats out of the tree.
Firefighters do that, I think. They have the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Oh,
all right, well,
gosh.
whatever, Jessica.
Sorry.
Okay, so at her house, she's trying on her wedding dress. And so Brian has been wanting her to learn Spanish. So she's been trying to learn Spanish. She's trying on her wedding dress. She looks in the mirror and she's like, yo quiero.
Taco Bell.
What is she doing? Is this a Taco Bell ad? But that's what she wants to say instead of I do at their wedding, because she wants to show off the Spanish that she's learned.
From the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
After months and months of studying,
she
can say yo quiero.
But she did look absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really beautiful.
Yo quiero doesn't actually translate to I do, right? Doesn't she say that? There's no translation for I do.
I want.
Yeah. I want, yes. Not even a full sentence she could learn.
Yeah. But next, she's waiting at the airport for her boyfriend. And my gosh, you guys, any redemption he had earned with his like sweet advice towards her with the, be nice to the guy, you get more bees with honey. I was like, okay, well, maybe he's nice. No, he's not. He's not. He arrives and the first thing he says to her is, you cut your hair. And she's like, just a little. And he goes, don't worry, it'll grow back.
Uh-huh. And then tosses her his heaviest bag for her to carry.
Oh my gosh. This guy. And then she's like wanting to go to dinner with him, right? And she wants to know what the question is. And he's like, oh, well, we're going to go to dinner with mother. I haven't seen you in months and months, but we're going to dinner with mother.
Yeah. He doesn't ask her how the parade's going. He doesn't ask her anything about her own life. No. He just wants to go have dinner with mommy.
Well, and I feel like that's another example of where their communication is totally lacking. Because I don't know about you guys, but if my husband was gone for months, we would have plans for the day he got back.
100%.
And if he wanted to go out to dinner with his mom, cool. I probably wouldn't go, and it would be the next day after he got home.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And he greets her and tells her she looks wonderful. But then when they're going to go to dinner with mommy, he says, we'll stop by your place so you can change first. I'm like, why does she need to change?
She doesn't need to change. You need to change,
just got off an airport.
Yeah, shame, Brian. What's wrong with you?
Ay. So eventually they do end up going to dinner, Brian and Emily. And they go to dinner at Jim's, her favorite place. And she knows he has a question. She is all done up. She's got the big, huge hat and she's very fancy. I will say that this is one outfit that I was like, what is she wearing?
For a pizza place.
She looked like she was
out of
going
breakfast
to
at Tiffany's.
Yeah, she looked like she was going to a funeral in the 80s.
I mean, she kind of was. She kind of was.
She kind of was. That's
her
fair.
own funeral. But her outfit at the airport was so cute with the cat eye glasses. I loved it.
Yes, super cute. You can go home and change. What a butthead. So Brian is getting ready to pop the question. She's so excited. She's got her answer formulated before she even hears him say the words. And he asks her if she wants to come on his boat with him for 2 years. And she says, yo quiero.
And then it's like, wait, what?
Then it's like it registers. And she's like, wait a minute. He didn't just ask me to marry him. And
her first sign should have been the fact that he brought his laptop to dinner.
Yeah.
He was sitting there on his laptop.
Like, what? Why? What is that? You're at Jim's Pizza. Put it away, dude.
And this is where I wrote, that's it. This movie makes me angry.
Yeah. Then she's like, so are you asking me to marry you? And he's like, no, you know how I feel about marriage after what I went through with my parents. And she goes, your parents have been happily married for 30 years. And he's just like, that's a lot to live up to. Total dumbass.
Yeah.
This guy sucks. He's so bad. He's the
terrible.
worst. So,
but also the other side of that too is like, I find in a lot of actually Hallmark movies or made for TV movies, the woman is just assuming, oh, we're going to get engaged tonight. Like, and what clues were there that told you that? Because with this guy, there didn't seem to be any.
None.
Did
just
I
a
know
question.
when my husband was going to propose? Yes, I did. It was very obvious. Oh my gosh. Like, it was my birthday and he took me to Seattle to stay in this very nice hotel that we never would have spent that much money on. Took me to dinner at the Space Needle. Like, all of these. Come on. This is not a normal birthday. I knew. I even stopped on my way to meet him for our date. I stopped at the store and bought nail polish because I was like, he's going to propose and my nails aren't painted. So I painted my nails in the car because I was like, it's coming. I know it's coming. But clearly in this situation, the signs were misread because he's not proposing. He has no intention of proposing. And she breaks up with him, which I was very happy to see.
Yes,
it wasn't like, okay, sure, I'll go on your boat with you. It was, no, we're breaking up, which I really liked.
He takes a page out of the narcissist handbook and says, you're being unreasonable. This guy.
The day any man calls me unreasonable will be his last.
It's like telling me to calm down.
I think she is just focused on marriage. She wants to be married. And she's kind of forgetting like that there's a person on the other side of that. Right. That you have to be married to. And
you want to marry someone you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's helpful.
Yeah.
It is helpful. It is forever. So,
and I think that's something that a lot of people probably get sucked into of like, well, getting married is what I'm supposed to do. That's the next thing. And so this guy seems okay, right? Let's go for it.
Yeah. No, it definitely needs to be the right person or you're in for a world of hurt, honey.
Yep.
Yeah. And if his parents' successful marriage is what's keeping him from getting married.
Red flag. Again, this guy, like, there's so many.
Yeah.
I just can't. However, I loved this. So she's leaving the restaurant. She's very visibly upset. And who is outside the restaurant in a limo but Henry? He had ordered a pizza, which I loved because she took him to this restaurant when he was looking for some fancy, Michelin star restaurant. But it's this little dive pizza place, and he loved it. And he came back and had ordered a pizza, and she just happens to be walking out at the same time. She tries to give him the $5 and is pretty grumpy and rude with him. And he tells her, get in the car, just get in the car. And he gives her a glass of what we think is champagne, and she's drinking it and she's spilling her guts to him. And she goes, and I don't really drink. I'm already starting to feel this. And he's like, it's ginger ale. I love that. But then they go to a bar and she has one glass of real champagne and was 3 sheets to the wind after one glass of champagne. And she decides to do some karaoke to Heart of Glass. How did Hallmark get the rights to that song? The entire budget of this film was spent on that.
Probably. Maybe that's why they needed the Cheesecake Factory's help. Was to pay for this song.
Yeah, need some sponsorship
here. Pay for this song. I love that scene. You could see them developing this positive relationship, and he was really taking care of her, which was really sweet. I really liked that.
And it's not often that you see a drunken scene in a Hallmark movie.
No. After one glass of champagne.
And then she pukes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
One glass of champagne. Unless you have an allergy. Maybe she has an allergy.
Maybe she's allergic to champagne.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So from there on, her and Henry start spending a lot of time together. He ends up taking her to a water taxi, which he has rented for the entire day so that she can take her time getting on the water taxi. And she does pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Conquer her fear.
Cool. We didn't need the whole day.
No. So that was great.
But can we just jump back a second? Because that night they go up on the roof and they chat and end up getting locked on the roof. And so they end up sleeping there. But I looked up, like you were mentioning, Jess, the weather in November in Chicago, and it's 32 to 48 degrees. And she's in this cocktail dress and they just slept out there all night long. Wind whipping through the...
And the wind, they're not kidding when they say it's the Windy City. It is.
Yeah.
When we went there, this was over a decade ago, but we went there, it was a week or two before Christmas. And when I would walk outside of the hotel to go get coffee, I would literally have to wrap my face with a scarf because of how crazy intense the cold wind was.
Oh my gosh.
My eyes sticking out. That's it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So they probably would not have made it through the night.
They would not have made it through the night.
They didn't even really make a strong attempt to get off the roof. Were never banging on the door or anything. They just
have they seen Friends?
Laid down and went to sleep.
They know how to get off the roof. Figure it out.
And then they got up and went to work the next day. From the roof.
I guess we got to do the walk of shame. Okay.
Can I just say, though, that her coworker, Donna, is the worst.
I hated her.
Everything she does, she's hitting on Henry and in a very uncomfortable way. And then when Emily and Brian break up, she's bawling, crying, and she's like, I would just fall over and die if I were you. However, the actress that plays Donna is April Tellick, and she reminds me so much of Jennifer Coolidge. And I feel like if it had been Jennifer Coolidge in this role, it would have been a little bit more funny.
Yes.
But it was, she was terrible.
It felt forced from her. It just felt like too much. And it was interesting to me, there were a lot of references to suicide in these couple of scenes.
I wrote that down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very, no, they would not do that anymore. And I was very surprised because I was like, this kind of seems like an out of character reaction for her. Because she generally seems happy. Yes, she wants to get married, but maybe she has some other underlying mental health issues that are going.
Yeah. Really, that whole character was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, see you later. We don't need you.
We don't need Donna at all.
No.
So one of the other things that they do that's really cool is Henry asks her if she wants to go to a Bulls game. He's got tickets to the Bulls game. And she's like, yeah, sure. And he ends up taking her to the North High Bulls game, which was his high school. And so they go to this high school basketball game, which I thought was really cute. I loved that. But they had a kiss cam. And I was like, what high school has a kiss cam?
They don't want to encourage that PDA.
No.
Never.
And kids don't want to like see their parents kissing in the stands.
No. That's not a thing. However, it was cute. They did kiss when they ended up on the screen. And then after the kiss, she's like, I think we should go. And he's like, okay. So they leave. And then they get to her house and she just bolts out of the car. Very awkward little interaction there. But then she goes to the thrift shop and she's visiting with her friend Jacqueline, who is wearing the prettiest vintage lavender outfits. One of my favorite outfits in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And she gives her some tough love. And she's like, the 5-date rule is not weird. It's actually very mature. And you like him and he likes you. So go talk to him. Like, be mature about this.
Yeah.
And so she does. She goes to his hotel room to admit her feelings. However, Gretchen, his ex-girlfriend, is also there knocking on the door at the same time. There's been some miscommunication. He had called her to apologize for the way that things ended between them. And she thought that meant he wanted to get back together. So there's all kinds of miscommunication
somehow
there.
Found out what hotel he was staying at and in what room.
And just showed up.
And they let her up, which in a downtown Chicago hotel, they're not letting random people up to hotel rooms.
No.
You have to have a key card to get up.
Yeah. So Emily sees Gretchen and she's like, he has a girlfriend? What? And she's so mad at him that when she goes back to work and Brian shows up with flowers and proposes in front of everyone, she says yes.
Mm-hmm.
She says yes because she's mad at Henry.
Yeah. That's a good reason to get engaged.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All this is the conflict we never saw coming, guys. It's such a shock.
And you were saying you liked Jacqueline's lilac suit, which I thought was beautiful too. But then Emily's wearing almost an exact reproduction of the Jackie O pink suit with the pill hat that she wore during the presidential motorcade. And I thought, no, don't go there.
No, I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
Because didn't they stop making that suit after that happened?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm sure she wasn't wearing Chanel. I don't think Hallmark can afford Chanel. But,
no, I don't think so.
But yeah, that is, I didn't even think about that, but that is kind of bizarre. And a lot of people use that as like a Halloween costume. And it's iconic, but for a really tragic reason.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's sad. I didn't even make that connection.
That should just be retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
That suit.
Yeah.
Even the Barbie was wearing that suit. Wasn't she the Jackie O Barbie?
I thought she was wearing black.
Oh, was she wearing black? Maybe.
I thought there was
the black suit with the sunglasses.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe there's more than one Jackie O Barbie. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a ton of them.
Okay.
There's a ton. And it's not the same pink suit. It is a pink suit, but I think it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's got a white lapel.
Yeah.
Or no. Yeah, it's different. Oh, yeah. Because you can find one like on Etsy. People make it, but it's not the Mattel.
I see. Okay.
Which is, why would you do that? I'm going to have this made for my little girl's Barbie.
Well, I saw an article. I just happened to see an article the other day where somebody was like trying to hunt down the jacket because it hadn't been seen since that day. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that the Pentagon has it or something. I'm sure
it's in the archives.
Yeah.
It will never be seen again. Like, you don't need to try to hunt that down. Why would you want that? That's horrific. So anyways, if you're going to be Jackie O,
a dark corner.
if you're going to be Jackie O for any costume party, great. She's very stylish, but wear something else.
Yeah.
Beautiful black dress.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So Emily has decided to marry Brian. She's trying to pack up for this 2-year boat trip when she hates boats.
No.
And she's
2 years on a boat. No. What?
No. I like boats.
2 weeks on a boat.
Not for 2 years.
No.
She's trying to pack and she packs her wedding dress and then a bunch of books and she's trying to shove it all in a suitcase. I'm like, that's what you're bringing for 2 years?
They're going to get married on this
bunch of books.
marine biology boat?
Yeah, it's not even like a nice
research
it's not
vessel.
like a yacht or a cruise ship. It's a research boat.
What is she gonna do all day?
Stinky men. Yeah.
No, that sounds
read.
awful.
I guess that's why she needs so many books.
Right, that's true.
Sit around in her wedding dress and read.
Read books. But before she leaves, she has to do the parade, right? And who's going to take care of the parade the next 2 years? She loves her job.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, I digress. She has to execute the parade before she leaves, right? So it's the day of the parade. And she finds out that Henry's recommendation is that they not change the parade at all. So good thing the mayor brought him in because he made absolutely no recommendations.
Nope, but probably got paid handsomely.
Yeah. But Emily is thrilled with this news. And she also finds out that the Beresford penthouse, which is the penthouse that Henry said he used to watch the parade from as a child, is opened up every year for the local orphanage so that the kids can watch the parade. And this is when she finds out that Henry was an orphan. He was not the rich bigwig family guy that she thought and judged him for all this time, but he was an orphan watching the parade from this penthouse as like a special treat. And shortly after she finds out that information, she's walking down the street and she finds Brian in a camping chair on his laptop, not watching the parade. She asks him what he loves about her and why she wears vintage, because those are the two most important things she needs to know. And he says she's quirky and odd. And she breaks up with him again. Goodbye,
Just
Brian.
what every girl wants to hear. What do you love about me? You're quirky and odd.
Quirky and odd. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Now, throughout the movie, there's major emphasis put on the Thanksgiving Day parade Santa and how important it is to her that he be authentic. And they put a lot of time and effort into making sure it's the perfect Santa. However, at the last minute, the Santa they've chosen is unavailable. And Donna finds someone to replace this Santa. And who is it but none other than Henry, dressed up like the Santa. Now, I will say that this scene, while it was cute, it kind of irked me because there was so much emphasis put on him being an authentic Santa, but he was in the most god-awful Santa suit and wig beard combo I've ever seen in my life. It was so terrible, so bad. It looked like they bought it at the dollar store. And he pulls her up on the sleigh and he pulls down his beard and kisses her. And I was like, you just ruined the magic for every single child that is watching this parade. And for Emily, who is so focused on the importance of this authentic Santa waving just at the children, just for them, he just ruined it. And she doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the costume makes sense for something Donna would do, right? That she would not do a good job and she would just find something at Goodwill and make him wear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a hard time with this. I wrote the parade was the only good thing about this movie.
Oh. Well, okay, I hated that he pulled his beard down, but I did really like this scene other than that issue that I had.
I like the idea of it. Yeah. But I think they could have, I don't know, had him participate in the parade some other way. They didn't have to create conflict with Santa. Just have Santa be there. Cool. He's great. Make him dance in a top hat or I don't know, do something else.
Or make Henry the elf. Like he needed an elf helper at the last minute. And so Henry did that. And then he can hop off the sleigh and kiss her on the street or something.
Yeah.
But
as he pulls her up onto the sleigh and then he asks her to marry him, which, you know, we know things move very quickly in Hallmark land. And she answers with yo quiero. And that ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Because she was taking Spanish because Brian wanted her to take Spanish. Right. So they should have come up with a different line. That was for Brian. That wasn't for Henry. And it just sounded stupid.
It was stupid.
Quiero?
But I did like how he said he wants to have Thanksgiving at Jim's with her every year. I thought that was really sweet.
That was very cute.
That was cute, but I didn't think they needed to get engaged.
No,
she
they
just
didn't.
broke off her engagement like 5 minutes before with somebody else.
They really did not need to get engaged.
They do not know each other well enough to get married. And he doesn't have a home. Is he going to move to Chicago?
Why don't they ever end with, let's see where this goes, or let's plan a future together or something? It's always got to be the big moment. And
they're getting
let's get married.
They barely know each other. It's been like 2 weeks. And
they know they like ice cream and pizza
for part of it.
Yeah.
But if I suspend my disbelief, it was very cute and I did like it. And I did think that they had really good chemistry throughout the movie. I believed that they were falling in love, and I don't know, I enjoyed it. I would love to see a sequel.
I did too.
Maybe a Christmas sequel, or the next Thanksgiving. I don't know. I guess it's been a while now, so it'd have to be like 10 years later. But
it's been over a decade since this movie came out.
Okay, you guys. So this movie was filmed mostly in Langley, British Columbia. Like we have come to find, most of these movies are filmed. They used the ACT Arts Center, Memorial Peace Park, Langley Farm Market. Jim's Pizza is a real place in Langley if you want to go visit Jim's Pizza. And the Sweet Orange clothing store was her best friend's thrift shop. It is actually not open anymore, unfortunately. But it was a very cute thrift shop that they used for the filming of this movie. The only scenes that were actually shot in Chicago were on site at the parade in staging areas and the southernmost portion of the route. And then the film also features the actual inflation of Teddy Turkey, which is a favorite balloon in the Chicago parade. So I found that interesting that they did actually film some of this in Chicago at the parade, which is pretty cool.
And is it a Thanksgiving Day parade that they do?
Yeah, the Chicago Thanksgiving Day parade.
Cool.
Yeah.
I found something interesting too, because it was filmed in Langley. The building that they fall asleep on is actually in Canada. And it said the Hotel Vancouver can be seen in that segment. So you can see it in the background, and then you can see it the next morning when they're walking at street level. So it's actually the Hotel Vancouver in the background, not the Chicago city skyline.
Oh, okay.
I don't know Chicago. I've never been there, so I wouldn't have picked up on that, but that was interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Did you do any research on the parade?
No.
I did a little dive into the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade. It started in 1934 to boost the spirits of Chicago residents during the Great Depression. It was originally called the Christmas Caravan and has had 10 different official names in its 90-year history. They use a combination of cold air balloons and helium balloons because apparently there's a big helium shortage.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know that.
The parade school or the parade camp that they went to is an actual thing that all the volunteers have to go through parade school, especially the ones that man the balloons, because there's really a craft to that. And close to 500,000 people attend the parade each year, which by comparison, the New York Macy's parade hosts 3.5 million spectators live and 50 million tune in on TV.
Wow.
So Macy's is huge, but even 500,000 on the streets of Chicago.
Remember when Seattle used to do the Thanksgiving Day parade? Or was it the day after Thanksgiving?
Day after. I don't remember them doing that.
Yeah. And we always talked about going, but then, we went shopping instead.
Yeah, that's more fun.
Yeah.
It's no more.
I always thought it would be fun to stay in one of those hotels along the parade route and watch from above.
Yeah, totally. That'd be really cool. I did find a little interview with Antonio Cupo about this film. And he said that on the day of filming in the Santa suit, it was about 104 degrees.
Oh. So it was sunny out. It was summertime.
He had to pull that beard down.
And when they had to kiss, he said he felt so bad because his face was just like melting off.
Oh.
But he said that Autumn Reeser is just a dream to work with. And I thought this was really interesting. But he argues that it's a Christmas movie. This movie can be considered a Christmas movie. He says it's not debatable like Die Hard or one of those movies. So what do you think? Do you think of this as a Christmas movie? Do you think it can be considered one?
No.
No, I don't either.
I mean, it's right there in the name. Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's all about leading up to Thanksgiving. And yes, there's a Santa at the end of the parade, but beyond that, they don't really mention Christmas. It's all
I
about
totally agree. I was like, what are you talking about, Mr. Cupo?
Yeah, they talk about plans for Thanksgiving, not for Christmas. And I would say
she goes to Jim's.
It's definitely it's a Thanksgiving movie. Yeah.
Hey, you wrong, bro.
And we want to see more of those Thanksgiving movies.
Yes.
Families gathered at the table.
Yeah, please. There's so many directions you could go with that. So many stories you could tell.
I want to see like a Cherry Lane movie, but for Thanksgiving.
Yes. That would be great.
That would be cool. Okay, you guys, I've got a little this or that for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Do you prefer football or the Thanksgiving Day parade?
Oh, parade.
My answer. The parade for sure.
How did I know? Okay. Do you prefer to watch the performances or see the balloons?
Balloons. Some of the performances, here's why. They lip sync to everything and it's pretty cheesy. But I love to watch the balloons.
If you've got like a boy band on a float going down, that's cool.
Yeah.
But the ones where it's like they stop and they perform, I'm like, you're not actually singing well. So
this is from Wicked, and they're not singing.
The dancing is cool, but I also feel bad for them because it's so cold.
It's so cold. I really enjoy watching the performances. I love the Rockettes. That's my favorite part of the whole parade. So I really, really enjoy that. But I do like seeing the big balloons, especially when I'm watching it with my kids, because like, especially my 3-year-old, like he gets so excited when he sees characters that he recognizes. So that is really fun.
I remember the year when I was a kid and one of the balloons, they lost control of him and he was like flying away. I can't remember which balloon it was.
Gosh, that's terrible.
Isn't that why they end up on the roof in that Friends episode? Because one of the balloons took off.
Went rogue.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather, after Thanksgiving dinner, take a nap or go play turkey football?
I don't really take a nap after Thanksgiving dinner because we're surrounded by family. I'd go watch people play football.
Go be a spectator.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
You know what's one of my favorite things is we had Thanksgiving with my husband's family a few years ago. And after dinner, all of us women went and just took a walk and just chatted and took a stroll. And it was so nice to like walk off some of the stuff you just ate, but not necessarily play a game of tackle football.
Right.
All right. One more. Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
Old school Black Friday.
Yeah, old school Black Friday. I feel like it's all the same now. It's all kind of melted together, but
it starts now.
Friday.
It starts in September, really.
Yeah. Old school where you couldn't get an eggnog latte until Black Friday, where we got up at 3 a.m. and wore our Christmas sweaters and didn't really have anything specific that we needed to buy, but we would wait
for the fun of it.
Yeah. Waiting in line at Target for 2 hours to buy an electric toothbrush,
That doesn't sound fun at all, but it was so fun.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. And that was the first day that the stores were decorated.
Yeah.
So like going to the mall, even going to the mall at all is like a novelty now, but going to the mall and seeing all the Christmas trees and the stores all decorated.
And Santa would be there.
Yes, it was magical. But now it's like that stuff goes up the day after Halloween and it's just...
I think Nordstrom is one of the last holdouts that still waits.
Are they still?
I think so. But then, because my mom used to work for Nordstrom, but then they'd have to send a crew in after Thanksgiving dinner and work all night long. So
that's true.
Yeah, Walmart is full Christmas. At least ours is.
Already? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
It's not even Halloween yet. Well, right now, by the time this episode airs, it'll be Thanksgiving next week.
Everything will be full Christmas by the time this episode airs.
For sure. All right, you guys, let's rate this movie. We're going to use glasses of champagne.
Okay.
All right. I will say that I loved this movie. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was cute. It was quirky and odd. It was fun. I loved the Thanksgiving aspect. I really loved the character of Emily. I'm going to give this one 4 glasses of champagne. I really liked it. I would definitely watch it again.
Okay. I agree. I loved it. I loved the vintage clothing. I thought she looked so adorable. And if there was any time that I would wear vintage like that all the time, I would jump on it. But it's not very practical in this day and age. As we have established in a prior episode, I'm in yoga pants all the time. But I thought she looked adorable. I would have rated it a little higher, like maybe a 4.5, but I had to take off a 0.5 point for the Kyoto at the end. So I am also giving it a 4. And I love Autumn Reeser. I will watch anything that she's in. So 4.5, 4,
No,
because I docked
so good.
0.5 point, 4 champagne glasses.
Okay.
I think we know I did not like this movie.
No champagne for you.
Yeah, the acting was over the top in a lot of it. The script she was too angry with him right out of the gate. There was too much arguing. They stood very close to each other when they were arguing, which was weird for a coworker. Yeah, the end was terrible.
Oh no, Jessica.
I don't remember what I rated Destined at Christmas.
Which one did you like more, Destined at Christmas or this movie?
I think Destined at Christmas, honestly.
Oh, that says a lot.
So I think I'm going to give this one a 1.5. That's being generous.
You better be
That
careful
hurts
with that
my
extra
heart.
half. You're going to be singing Heart of Glass. Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
All right. We'll take it. We don't
Sorry,
have to
guys.
agree. Okay, you guys. Well, next week is Thanksgiving, and we are celebrating the season of giving by diving into Lacey Chabert's new series, Celebrations with Lacey Chabert. In this Hallmark Plus series, Lacey finds hometown heroes and surprises them with a party of their dreams to celebrate and give thanks for the good work they're doing in their communities. This next episode will be airing the week of Thanksgiving, so we're excited to have a very special Thanksgiving episode and talk all about Lacey Chabert's new series. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Love on the Pod and share your episode thoughts or ideas by emailing us at loveonthepod@gmail.com. Let us know if you liked this movie. Let us know if you agree with Jessica or if you're on Team Danny and Sherry. Plus, you can text us with future movie recommendations using the link in our show notes. If you loved this episode and want to hear more, please subscribe to the podcast as we drop new episodes weekly.
So whether you're thrifting some fabulous vintage wear
or stepping onto a boat for the very first time,
we hope your Thanksgiving Day Parade Santa is the best you've ever seen. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
bye.
Bye.